Do you remember when your patio was your favorite place to start the day? A quiet corner to sip your morning coffee, listen to the birds, or simply breathe in the peace of your own space. Over time, though, things change. The surface gets dirty, moss and stains creep in, it becomes slippery and dull, and that calm, welcoming spot starts to feel neglected. If you have been avoiding your patio because it feels like too much work to clean, or if you are concerned about using harsh chemicals around pets, plants, or your own hands, today, I want to show you a better way. No complicated machines, no strong, store-bought cleaners, just a few gentle items you already have in your home, and a little bit of time. This method is safe, simple, and surprisingly effective. You will be using baking soda and white vinegar to bring your patio back to life. That's all. 2 natural ingredients, working together to give you a space that feels clean, fresh, and peaceful again. So, if your patio needs a little love, and you are ready for a cleaning routine that is as kind as it is powerful, let's begin. Step 1. Gathering supplies and preparation. Before we begin the cleaning process, it's important to take a few moments to prepare. This isn't just about grabbing tools, it's about setting the tone. When we approach a task calmly and with care, even something as simple as cleaning a patio becomes a peaceful, almost meditative experience. So, let's gather everything we need to make this process smooth, safe, and satisfying. The ingredients and tools required are simple. First, you'll need baking soda. You might already have this tucked away in a kitchen cabinet or near your laundry supplies. It's that soft, white powder known as sodium bicarbonate, commonly used in baking and for eliminating odors. But it also has wonderful natural cleaning power. It's gentle on surfaces and on your hands, but still effective enough to lift dirt and loosen stains. Next, you'll need white vinegar. This should be the distilled kind you'd typically use for cooking or basic household cleaning. It's safe, inexpensive, and surprisingly strong when used the right way. When it combines with baking soda, it creates a bubbling reaction that naturally lifts away grime. There's something oddly satisfying about watching it work too. You'll see. You'll also want a stiff bristle brush. Not something overly aggressive, but strong enough to scrub between the textures of your patio surface. If you have arthritis or joint pain, consider using one with a long handle to avoid bending down too much. Warm water will help everything rinse clean. You don't need it to be boiling, just slightly warm from the tap is enough. If your patio has greasy spots, maybe from a barbecue area or potted plants, you can also add a teaspoon of mild liquid dish soap. This step is optional, but can make a noticeable difference in those tough-to-clean areas. Finally, have either a garden hose ready or a bucket of water and a small container to pour. You'll need this at the end to wash everything away. Once you've gathered all your supplies and placed them within easy reach, take a breath. Look out at your patio. It might look tired now, but in just a short while, you'll start to see it transform, with nothing more than a few safe, natural items and a little patience. Step 2. Clearing the patio and getting it ready. Now that your supplies are ready, it's time to prepare the patio surface. This step might seem simple, but it's an important part of the process. Think of it as creating a clean canvas. When we take the time to clear away surface debris first, we allow our cleaning solution to reach the areas that really need attention. Start by removing any loose items from the patio. That might include chairs, flower pots, small tables, or anything decorative you've placed outside. Set them gently to the side. Don't worry, they'll be back soon enough, and on a much cleaner surface. Once the patio is clear, begin sweeping. A simple broom works well here. You'll want to remove dry leaves, twigs, dust, or bits of dirt that have settled into the corners. Take your time. There's no need to rush. This part of the process can actually feel quite relaxing. The steady rhythm of the broom, the quiet outdoor air. Many people find that cleaning outdoors can be grounding and soothing, especially when approached with intention. If there are weeds or moss between the stones or tiles, you can gently pull them out by hand or use a small garden tool to loosen them. There's no need to be harsh. Anything stubborn will be addressed later with the cleaning solution. After sweeping and clearing, you'll want to dampen the surface. Using a garden hose or a bucket of water, lightly wet the patio. This helps the baking soda stick to the surface and prevents it from blowing away in the wind. You're not soaking it, just giving it a gentle rinse. Think of it like softening the skin before applying lotion. It helps everything work more effectively. When you're finished, take a moment to step back and look at your patio. It may still be stained or dull, but it's already cleaner and more open. You've set the stage for what's next, and that's where the transformation really begins. Up next, we'll start applying the natural cleaning mixture, and you'll get to see it in action. Step 3. Applying baking soda. Now that your patio is swept and lightly dampened, it's time to bring in the first star of our cleaning routine, baking soda. This humble powder has been trusted in homes for generations. It's gentle, it's safe, and it has a way of lifting away dirt without harming the surface underneath. Start by taking a generous handful of baking soda and sprinkling it across the patio. Focus on the areas where you see stains, moss, or grime. You don't need to measure it exactly. Just be generous and spread it evenly. If you're working with a large area, you might find it easier to use a scoop or small container to help you cover the ground smoothly. As you sprinkle, you might notice the baking soda clinging slightly to the damp surface. That's a good sign. It means the powder is settling in and getting ready to do its job. Make sure to cover the cracks between stones or tiles too. Those are often the places where dirt and mildew like to hide. There's something soothing about this step. It's quiet, it's slow, and it gives you a sense of control over a space that might have felt forgotten. Many women have shared that this part reminds them of baking, not just because of the powder, but because of the calm rhythmic movement and the feeling of preparing something that matters. If you're wondering how much baking soda to use overall, it depends on the size of your patio. For a small patio, 1 cup may be enough. For a larger area, you might use 2 or even 3 cups. But don't worry if you don't cover every inch perfectly. The beauty of this method is in its flexibility and forgiveness. Once your patio is lightly coated in baking soda, give yourself a moment to appreciate the simplicity of what you're doing. You're choosing a natural, non-toxic way to clean. You're caring for your home and doing it with wisdom and kindness. In the next step, we'll activate the baking soda with white vinegar and watch the natural magic begin. Step 4. Applying the vinegar. Now that your patio is evenly coated with baking soda, it's time to bring in the second ingredient, white vinegar. This is the step where everything starts to come alive. When vinegar touches baking soda, something beautiful happens. A soft, fizzing reaction that lifts dirt, breaks down grime, and starts the real cleaning process. To begin, pour some white vinegar into a spray bottle. If you don't have a spray bottle, you can gently pour it straight from the container, but spraying gives you more control. Work slowly and deliberately. Spray the vinegar directly over the baking soda-covered areas. You'll notice a gentle fizzing sound as the 2 ingredients react. This natural bubbling is not only safe, but incredibly effective. It's doing the work without you having to scrub just yet. Be sure to apply the vinegar generously, especially over areas with heavy staining or mildew. Focus on the joints between the tiles or stones, as that's where buildup often hides. If you're using a pour method instead of a spray, go carefully and pour in a thin stream. You don't want to wash the baking soda away. Just moisten it enough to create that reaction. This part of the process is oddly satisfying. Many people describe it as peaceful to watch. It's quiet, but you know something is happening beneath the surface. You might even take this time to pause, stand back, and admire how two simple kitchen staples can come together to clean something so stubborn without needing anything synthetic or harsh. Once you've treated the entire area with vinegar, let it sit for a few minutes, just long enough for the fizzing to finish. During this time, the mixture is loosening all that dirt and buildup, working its way into the little cracks and crevices that are hard to reach with a brush. You're not scrubbing yet. That step comes next. But by applying the vinegar now, you're making everything easier later. Less pressure, less strain, and a more thorough clean. This is the kind of work that respects your time and your body. In the next step, we'll talk about an optional boost, adding just a little dish soap for extra cleaning power in tough spots. Step 5. Adding dish soap for extra cleaning power. At this point, your patio is already well on its way to becoming cleaner. The baking soda and vinegar have created a gentle, natural reaction that's begun lifting grime from the surface. But if you have areas that are particularly greasy, like spots near a grill, under flower pots, or places where outdoor furniture has sat for a long time, you might want to give the cleaning process a little extra help. That's where dish soap comes in. This step is completely optional, but it can make a big difference in problem areas. You don't need anything fancy, just a small amount of regular, mild liquid dish soap. The kind you use every day in your kitchen is perfect. To apply it, you have a couple of options. You can squirt just a few drops directly onto the tough spots, or you can mix a teaspoon of dish soap into a small bowl of warm water and use a sponge or brush to apply it where needed. Either way works. The goal is to help break down oily residue and loosen anything that the baking soda and vinegar might not completely remove on their own. Take your time with this step. Move gently, using the brush or sponge in small circles. You don't need to scrub hard. The dish soap will do most of the lifting for you, especially since the area is already pre-treated. What's most important is covering the trouble spots evenly and allowing the soap to settle in for a minute or two. You'll likely start to see a change almost immediately. Dark patches will begin to lighten, and the surface may start to feel smoother under your hand. If you enjoy seeing visible progress as you clean, this part can be especially rewarding. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about creating a safe, fresh space where you feel comfortable again. Just a little dish soap, used thoughtfully, can go a long way toward that goal. Once you've finished applying the soap, take one last look at the patio. It may still look wet and messy now, but the groundwork has been laid. In the next step, you'll let everything sit and rest, and soon after, you'll begin to see the transformation unfold. Step 6. Letting the solution sit and work. Now that you've applied the baking soda, vinegar, and maybe even a little dish soap, it's time for one of the most important steps, doing absolutely nothing for a few minutes. Yes, really. Letting the solution sit is what allows it to do the heavy lifting, so that when it's time to scrub, your effort is gentle but effective. Think of this stage like letting bread dough rise or letting tea steep. There's magic in the pause. Let the natural ingredients you've just applied take their time to break down stains, soften buildup, and reach into the grooves of the patio surface. You'll want to let the mixture sit for at least 10 minutes. If your patio has heavy buildup, or if it hasn't been cleaned in a long time, 15 to 20 minutes is even better. Don't worry if some areas start to dry. The baking soda will still cling to the surface, and the reaction from earlier will have already done much of its work. This is a good moment to take a break. Sit down nearby with a glass of water or a warm drink. Enjoy the quiet outdoors. Listen to the birds or the breeze. These little moments of stillness aren't just part of cleaning. They're part of restoring your sense of home. If you've applied dish soap to certain areas, you might notice the soap settling into the surface during this time. That's perfectly fine. Let it soak. It's loosening anything greasy or sticky underneath, making your job easier later on. During this resting phase, Avoid walking on the treated area, especially if you've used dish soap, as it can get slippery. It's best to let everything work undisturbed. Letting the mixture rest doesn't just improve the cleaning results. It also gives your body a break. No bending, no scrubbing. Just a few peaceful minutes while nature's chemistry does its job. And in a world that often rushes us, this step is a reminder that sometimes the best results come when we slow down. When your timer goes off or you feel ready, we'll move on to the next part, scrubbing and rinsing. That's when the patio will really begin to shine. Step 7. Scrubbing and rinsing. Now that the mixture has had time to rest and work its magic, it's time for the most hands-on part of the process, scrubbing and rinsing. But don't worry. Because of all the gentle effort you've put in up to this point, this step won't be hard on your hands, your knees, or your energy. Start with your stiff bristle brush. If it has a long handle, even better. That means less bending and strain. Begin in one corner of the patio and slowly work your way across. Use gentle pressure in circular motions. You'll likely feel some areas where the grime lifts away easily. That's the baking soda and vinegar doing their job. For spots where you applied dish soap, you might see suds form again as you scrub. That's a good sign. The soap is loosening the grease, and your brush is simply guiding it off the surface. Take your time. This doesn't need to be rushed. Move steadily and breathe as you work. There's something deeply satisfying about seeing a dull surface turn clean and bright again with just a little help from your hands. If you come across a patch that's still stubborn, pause and let it sit for another minute. Then return to it with a little extra attention. Sometimes all it needs is a second pass. Once you've brushed the entire area, it's time to rinse. Use a garden hose, if you have one, to gently wash the surface. Aim the water at a low angle to carry the baking soda, vinegar, and soap mixture away from the patio. If you're using a bucket, you can pour slowly and use a small container to direct the rinse water. As the water flows, you'll begin to see the results. The original color of your patio coming through, the clean lines between tiles, and a soft, natural shine returning. It's one of the most rewarding moments of the process. Be sure to rinse thoroughly so that no residue remains. The surface should feel fresh underfoot, without being slippery or sticky. When you're done, take a few steps back and admire the difference. This isn't just a clean patio. It's a space you've reclaimed with care and intention. Up next, we'll take a look at the results and wrap up with a few thoughts and gentle reminders. Step 8. Before and after. Seeing the transformation. Now that the work is done, the scrubbing, the rinsing, the gentle effort, it's time to simply look. Stand back for a moment and take it all in. Can you see the difference? What once looked dull, dusty, maybe even a little forgotten, now looks bright again. Clean, clear, safe. The colors of your patio might even feel warmer, more inviting. The lines between the stones look more defined. The surface feels refreshed underfoot. And most importantly, it feels like a place you want to be again. There's something deeply satisfying about this kind of transformation. Because it didn't require anything harsh. No pressure washers, no gloves and masks, no chemicals you can't pronounce. Just a few simple items from your kitchen, and a quiet determination to care for your home. And let's be honest, this was more than just cleaning. It was a moment to slow down, to reconnect with your space, to do something with your hands that makes your world a little better. And that matters. You don't have to chase perfection. What you've done here is create comfort, restore a bit of beauty, and bring peace back to a space that welcomes you. Whether it's for a morning cup of coffee, an afternoon rest, or just looking out and smiling, this is now your space again. And all it took was baking soda, vinegar, a brush, and you. Important tips and what to avoid for the best results. As with most things in life, a little thoughtfulness and preparation can make a big difference in how well something turns out. The same is true for cleaning your patio with baking soda and vinegar. This is a gentle, natural method, but like any cleaning process, it works best when done with care. Below are some helpful tips to ensure you get the best results, and a few things to avoid that could make the process less effective or even cause unintended problems. 1. Sweep and wet the patio first, always. Before you sprinkle any baking soda or spray any vinegar, make sure to remove loose dirt, leaves, and debris. This helps the ingredients reach the actual surface, rather than just sitting on top of dry mess. Also, lightly dampening the patio with water before applying baking soda helps it stick better and prevents it from blowing away in the wind. 2. Use fresh, active ingredients. Baking soda and vinegar don't really go bad, but they can lose some of their potency over time. If your baking soda has been sitting open for a year or more, it might not fizz as strongly. Similarly, older vinegar may be less acidic. Fresh, unopened containers give the best cleaning reaction. 3. Don't mix baking soda and vinegar in a bowl beforehand. One common mistake is mixing the two ingredients together before applying them. This causes them to react and neutralize each other too early. The magic happens when they react on the surface, not in a bowl. Always apply baking soda first, then spray vinegar over it directly on the patio. 4. Avoid using too much water too early. A light spray of water to dampen the patio is good, but pouring large amounts of water before the reaction has time to work can wash away your baking soda before it does its job. Wait until after scrubbing to rinse thoroughly. 5. Be mindful of plant life nearby. While both baking soda and vinegar are generally safe for outdoor use, they can affect delicate plants in high concentration. Avoid letting the mixture pool or run directly into flower beds or vegetable gardens. If you're concerned, place a barrier, like cardboard, to protect sensitive areas. 6. Use a proper brush, not a wire one. A stiff bristle brush is perfect for this job. Avoid using wire brushes or anything with metal edges, as these can scratch or damage softer patio materials like natural stone or treated wood. A basic scrub brush or a deck brush with a handle will work beautifully. 7. Take weather into account. Try to clean on a dry, mild day, not during heavy sun, rain, or wind. Strong sun can cause vinegar to evaporate too quickly, while rain or wind can wash or blow away your mixture before it works. A calm, overcast morning is often ideal. 8. Protect your knees and back. If you plan to be on your hands and knees, use a garden cushion or folded towel to support yourself. Or better yet, use a long-handled brush so you can stand upright. The process should feel peaceful, not painful. 9. Rinse thoroughly, but not too soon. After scrubbing, be sure to rinse everything off thoroughly. However, don't rinse too quickly after applying the mixture. Give it time to break down the grime before you start washing it all away. This patience will pay off in the results. 10. Don't expect perfection. Appreciate the renewal. This natural method won't strip your patio like a power washer might, but that's also what makes it so special. It cleans gently, preserving the character of your patio while making it brighter, safer, and more welcoming. It's about caring, not erasing. This kind of cleaning is more than a task. It's a quiet, intentional ritual, one that invites mindfulness, gratitude, and a connection to the space you live in. By avoiding a few common mistakes and following these gentle tips, you'll not only have a cleaner patio, but also a more peaceful experience. Dear friends, as you look out over your freshly cleaned patio, take a moment to breathe it in. The stillness, the order, the quiet beauty that comes not just from a tidy space, but from the care you gave it. This wasn't just a cleaning task. It was an act of attention, a choice to nurture your home and restore a little corner of peace in your life. Sometimes we're told that cleaning must be fast, loud, or chemical heavy to be effective. But this experience proves otherwise. With nothing more than baking soda, vinegar, a little soap, and your own steady hands, you brought life back into a space that had been dulled by time. And you did it gently, thoughtfully, respectfully. This method isn't just safer for your plants, your pets, and your family. It's safer for your body and mind, too. There were no harsh smells, no loud machines, no frantic pace. Just simple tools and simple moments that remind us. Sometimes the best solutions are the ones that have been with us all along. And perhaps, while you scrubbed and rinsed, you thought about old memories on this patio. Maybe dinners with loved ones, quiet mornings with a good book, or the laughter of grandchildren running through the yard. Cleaning isn't just about removing dirt. It's about clearing the way for more of those good moments to return. If you found peace in this process, I hope you'll carry that feeling into the rest of your day, and maybe even into other parts of your home. There's joy in slowing down. There's beauty in doing something for no one else but yourself and your space. Now, if this video helped you in any way, even if it just gave you a small sense of calm, I'd love for you to be part of this gentle community. You can click the like button if you found the process helpful. Leave a comment below. Maybe share a memory of your patio or a small cleaning ritual that brings you joy. And if you'd like more quiet, practical wisdom like this in the future, feel free to subscribe. There's no pressure, just a simple invitation to keep learning and growing together, one thoughtful step at a time. Thank you for spending these few moments here today. Take care of your home, take care of your peace, and most of all, take care of yourself. You've earned it.